Well, good morning, Vietnam. Wait, no, it's not the show. How is everybody? I'm freaking tired for a damn Monday. Talking in front of a bunch of high school kids will wear you the hell out.
Yes,
So,
indeed it will.
But you didn't swear, you said. It's
I
like,
didn't swear.
That's
No
great.
F-bombs.
You
No.
didn't swear?
No, I said damn and hell, and I caught myself almost saying ass twice. Just didn't let it slip.
I am impressed.
Yeah, I totally need to get a trophy for that. Keeping juniors in high school's attention is not an easy damn thing to do. But
gives you a little more respect for public school teachers, right? I mean, like,
no
shit.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I mean, they had my respect anyways. I was an asshole as a student, so anybody who put up with me,
just as a student.
Well, fair.
All right.
Well played. But were they engaged? Like, great point. Like, did they listen? I mean,
Yeah. So there was a really cool weekend. So it was a like a simulation, entrepreneur simulation. So there was 10 different schools represented, about 60 plus kids, and they're given this program where they have to come up with a business plan and then adjust the business over like 18 quarters. And so they're competing against each other, and they're competing for real scholarships and stuff.
Wow.
And so they were really into it. Go ahead, Peyton.
It was interesting. They were deciding how much to spend. They were all given a lump sum, and how much do you spend on L&D? How much do you spend on marketing? How much do you spend on this? And then the people on the back end would adjust how much they sold. They were all selling phones. So how much do you spend on learning and development for phones? How much do you spend on marketing for your phones? How much do you spend on this or that? And then on the back end, they would be like, these guys spent the right amount on learning and development. These guys spent too much. And then you would watch real time. Everybody would come back into the main room, and you'd watch on your laptop the graphs change, how much you spent, how much you made.
Teams were screaming and yelling. The other half were like fucking, like somebody shot their dog when they saw their numbers. Yeah. I mean,
some of them are crying, some of them are screaming, and other ones are just silent. Some of them were covering their ears and looking away.
God.
Like, we had none of this growing up.
I was gonna say, if you had asked me what L&D was when I was a junior in high school, I would have been like, "What in the hell?"
I'm like, missed a letter. It's LSD.
Yes. Great.
Not that I would have known that in high school or anything. But yeah, I mean, it was really a cool thing. And even the questions afterwards and how engaged they were, we had to stop taking questions after the speech, which is always a good thing, just for time's sake. And bless her heart, the poor gal that spoke before me, I bet she would have been a lot better had she had shown up, but because of the weather, she didn't show up. And so she zoomed in, and then she just read her PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, no.
And so you could only see a little bit of her. She was not talking to the kids. The kids were playing on their phones. And I'm like, fuck, when they come back from that next simulation, I got to pop. So it was fun. So
well, that's cool.
Sounds awesome for them.
Yeah.
I definitely think that I would just from my son's perspective, like a lot more kids his age are interested in entrepreneurship than I feel like were when I was growing up.
Yeah, well, being an entrepreneur when we were kids just meant you were broke. Right. Because
or you were never home because you had too much responsibility or something.
Yeah. I mean, nobody talked about being a business owner and entrepreneur. I mean, I literally didn't know there was a thing until I turned 40.
The problem is too many kids think they can be Mr. Beast as their.
Well, I was surprised. I asked the room. I said, "How many of you guys want to be on influencers?" And only one person raised their hand.
Oh, okay.
I was really blown away.
My stepson wants to be a YouTuber. Like, that's what he talks about all the time. Are you kidding me?
Tell him to get after it.
Yeah.
Dude, if I had any kids that were interested in doing that, I'd freaking encourage the shit out of it.
Jack was this weekend. So Jack works at Taco Bell. My 18-year-old, he works at Taco Bell. He finished high school already, he finished his classes at semester. So he's been working full time at Taco Bell. He does the drive-thru, and he has a TikTok account where he's like the funny kid at the Taco Bell drive-thru in his little small
That's rad.
in Indiana. And it's hilarious. Like, he dances and like makes people laugh when they're coming through. It's hysterical.
That's
right.
right.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's cool.
I mean,
yeah.
My son, he like I think it's a freedom thing that he gets to walk up in the restaurant and go to the bathroom by himself. But every restaurant we go to, he has to go check out the bathroom. And so we're like, Jessica, you just need to, or I was like, Jason, you just need to go and start a YouTube video and tour the best bathroom.
Make sure there's nobody in there first, but yeah, go.
Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok that I'm loving right now. It's him and his little boy. His little boy's got to be maybe 3 years old, but it's on tips on becoming a man. And so the little boy's reading off and all these little things about what it takes to be a man. And it's like, take care of your ladies, make sure you pick up, and all really, really cool stuff. But you're hearing it from a 3-year-old. And his dad starts off tips to being a man, then it pans over to this little kid. It's fucking great. And some of the shit, it's just like a dude trying to say things like stupid shit we would say about what it takes to be a man. And this little kid saying them, it's fucking hilarious. I love it. So, all right, Peyton, let's play a game.
All right. So, get to know you questions. The idea was just asking simple surface level questions, and then we all just start talking and getting conversation going and waking up. But it sounded like we were already waking up as we were talking about stories. So we're already on the right track. Starting off top to bottom. Let's go, Donnie. Top favorite movies.
Top favorite movies: Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. How much? 3 favorite movies: Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Those are the 2 off top. I'm digging Wheel of Time right now. That's actually a series, though.
Okay.
It's moving slow this season compared to the other seasons.
Oh, dude, the fucking intro for Wheel of Time. I don't care how far they went away from the book. That opening sequence was intense and fucking awesome.
Well, I mean, it was, but like the actual storyline, if you watch the seasons before, it really moves. And then this season, it just seems like
they're into some of the boring sections of the book, too. So it's going to be really, really hard.
Yeah, I don't know Wheel of Time. What is it?
Robert Jordan, who was a pilot in Vietnam, wrote one of the longest fantasy series of all times. It's 14 books. The smallest one is 800 pages. It took me a solid year with a 45-minute commute to listen to every single book on Audible.
Wow.
Yeah, it is monster. The books are 50 hours. I mean, they're huge.
They're huge books.
And he died with 3 books to go. So Brandon Sorensen, who's another famous, fantasy writer, finished the books for him. So he wrote the outline of what all was going to play, and then he ended up writing the very last chapter of the book. So the last chapter in all the books you read, it's Robert Jordan's, putting it. But it's a phenomenal series, one of the greatest fantasy series of all time. But not a lot of people read it because it's a fucking commitment.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, that's
Right.
But they made it for a TV series, and TV adaptations, they're so off the mark with so many things. It's really bad, but I'm still enjoying it.
All right. Well, that kind of leads into the next one: is what are favorite TV shows? Bernie, you're next on the list here. Do you have favorite TV shows? Ones that you binge every once in a while?
Literally don't watch TV anymore. I have to answer this question with sports. That is what I watch on TV, and that is it. That is it. Favorite TV shows of all time, that I will answer though.
MASH.
Three Stooges.
MASH. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to watch so much MASH with my dad. Oh my God.
Yep. Like when I was a kid, I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch Three Stooges, just hours and hours of it. Love it.
So are you Larry, Moe, or Curly?
Oh, I'm Moe all day.
What anyone watch do you watch, Bird?
I'm sorry?
What sports do you watch?
Baseball.
All of them?
Baseball is my sport. Obviously, when baseball's not being played, I will watch the other sports, but baseball is my sport.
I watched the
Rangers.
I watched the Rangers win yesterday, and it was a cool finish. But baseball is so fucking boring. I don't know how you can sit there and just watch.
Because you take a nap in the middle of it, and then you wake up.
So baseball is the sport of sitting down, watching a sport, and drinking the whole time. That's what baseball is.
Yes.
Spectator sport, it's just you sit there, you drink, you hang out, you talk, and then every once in a while something happens, and you stand up and you scream. That's what I've learned.
I miss everything because I'm paying attention to anything else, and then everybody else screams. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yay, go sport.
Right. Go sport is right.
All right.
My husband
Well,
watches golf a lot, and that is quite boring.
See,
to
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
I can play the game of golf. I cannot watch the game of golf. That is watching grass grow. That is paint drying. That is insects having sex. Like,
So
all of
you
those
are
things
describing
terrible.
baseball. Got it.
Well,
This
he
Did
kinda
anyone
leads
watch
into
the
the-
end of Lotus last night? Did anyone watch White Lotus?
No,
I
never
watched
did.
it, but I haven't. I'm not caught up.
Oh, okay. I won't say anything. Okay. The finale was last night. I wasn't sure if anyone watched it.
I'm not caught up because I didn't watch anything while I was on vacation.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, don't.
All right, leading us into the next one, we're talking recent hobbies. Ashley, I'm gonna pick on you for this one. Any recent hobbies you got going on right now?
Camping, hiking, anything in the wilderness, yoga
listen.
in trees.
Yes. All of that. Those are my hobbies. Yoga and hiking. I was once called the hikiest hiker that had ever hiked by a girlfriend of mine.
You might need like a medal for the number of nicknames you have.
This is true. No, I live a mile from our city park from our biggest city park in Indianapolis, and it's actually one of the top 10 biggest city parks in the country by acreage, and it is beautiful. And so I am over there all the time hiking. That is mostly what I do, but I do a lot of yoga, and then I also do shit with London all the time. She's like right now into crafting and making dance videos. So I am a terrible dancer, but for my child, I will do anything. She's not allowed to post them anywhere, but she can record them.
That's fair. Okay.
I think you should start posting them.
No,
At least
that will not be happening.
we want to see.
Wednesday breakdancing with Ashley.
Oh my God. No.
Oh,
I am toying with the idea though of putting some more yoga videos on my YouTube to make accessible for other people that are just easy things that you can do through the day and stuff like that.
I love that.
I know that you won't do them, Donnie. But
No.
I'll
I see
watch
the
them,
pro-
Ashley. That's where I go for my yoga is YouTube.
I
Good.
see the way yoga people bend their bodies. I'm like, bodies aren't supposed to bend that way. Yeah. I mean, and can they come up with better names than something other than downward dog? I mean, that just looks like a bad sexual pose. I'm just saying.
You know what?
My little puppy will actually do a downward dog with me now.
I know the animals actually do the poses.
Whoa.
Donnie
Oh,
won't,
there you
but I
go.
will.
Jeffrey will
See,
jump
Jeff
in.
will do some yoga.
Nice.
YouTube yoga.
All right.
for the win.
Last one, Nadine and Jessica. I'll throw this one towards y'all. Last live performance y'all attended.
Oh, actually, again, I'll do a lot for my daughter, for my kids, right? I went to see Benson Boone.
What is Benson Boone?
Oh, look him up.
Oh.
He is like a spandex wearing young singer. Zuckerberg actually for his 40th, like dressed as Benson Boone and
Yes.
wanted to do the
Oh,
performance for his
gosh.
wife, and it was hilarious.
Oh.
He's a singer. Yeah, he's
Oh.
a mustache young kid. That's what I saw live.
Oh.
Donnie's face whenever he
Oh,
finally comes in.
Johnny's like, oh,
That's something.
yeah.
Jessica, what about you?
So mine was actually a small theater over in Carrollton. It was the Pocket Sandwich Theater, but it's fun because you get bowls of popcorn and you get to throw it at like the antagonist of the play, and it is just fun and interactive. You drink, you have fun, you throw popcorn. You don't eat the popcorn. The popcorn sucks. It's meant for throwing, not for eating, but it was a lot of fun.
It's fun. Anyone else want to share what their last live performance was? Donnie, I know you've been to it.
I want to see Peyton in the Benson Boone outfit. I'm just,
No one wants to see that.
my last live thing was Les Mis. Like,
Oh,
Les
nice.
Mis was so fucking awesome. The power of those people's voices are just damn insane. Couldn't tell you the last concert I went to. I don't do music a whole lot, but yeah, Les Mis was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
highly recommend it.
I saw Maggie Rogers last summer and Pink. I took Lennon to see Pink,
I
and
bet
that
Pink
was
was good.
a cool show. Yeah, dude, she's just crazy strong. She's insane. The shit that she does. I mean, I know Taylor does some crazy stuff too, but Pink is like jacked. and she just is crazy, flying around all over the place and all those crazy things. And then I went with my best friend and her teenage daughter to see some rapper whose name I cannot remember. And I did not understand any of the words. And the kids just screamed the entire time and jumped up and down. And I mean, the dude stayed in like an area, like a 5x5 area, and just walked around with them. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And the second of it. Yeah.
My daughter wants to go to a K-pop concert, and I'm just like,
Is that Asian like boy band stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, fun thing about Pink, when I worked for the Texas Rangers, she came in and she was putting on a concert. And so we had to set up all the stages and do the flooring for everything, lights, speakers, whatever. And I was in charge of setting up one of the back rooms, one of the back spaces for her and her family, because she brings her kids to every event that she puts on.
Yes, when they were here in Indy, she took it was like around Halloween time, and we have this it's called a settlement museum, and it's like it's not a museum, it's like actually a settlement, and people dress for the part and all that kind of stuff, and they do a headless horseman thing during Halloween, and so she took her kids to that. And her husband rented motorcycles, or I'm sure they were just given motorcycles, from one of the local dealerships and drove down to Bloomington around the lakes and back up. So it was really cool. She did all kinds of stuff with them.
Yeah, it was one of her kids' birthdays. And so the back room I was setting up, we like rented out a whole arcade and just pulled it into the stadium in one room for her kids to hang out in. For their birthday.
God, that's
it was insane with LED lights and speakers, and like the speaker was just playing arcade sounds because there's no one else in there, and it was just a handful of arcade machines. But it was
Peyton lost his job because he stayed in the room the entire time.
No, that was she actually got sick. I think she got the flu and couldn't perform, so she had to reschedule. So I set all of it up for nothing and had to take it back. Yeah, that's just how it goes. All right.
So what you're saying is you're going to set one of those up on my farm for me?
Negative.
No.
If you put the bill, then I might help.
Yes, yeah. Summit game room.
All right, maybe. All right, let's go on. Moving on.
This is Nadine Lavigne, founder of Be Real Partners, delivering customized leadership development programs that help companies create a culture where employees feel valued, heard, and motivated to perform at their best. Led by a female executive with over 20 years in corporate leadership, talent development, and coaching, Nadine Lavigne gets the hot seat with the Success Champions team.
Nadine, I want that t-shirt. I'm a leader unless it's dark. Then you can go first.
You know who got me? That was Paul.
Of course it is.
Right? Of course. It's awesome. I love that shirt. Oh my God. Yeah, he got me that.
Well, welcome to the show, Miss Nadine. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and then tell us how we can help.
Man, yeah. So what do I do? I, for years, was in corporate America, like many people, right? Have that experience of being there and dealing with all the things, right? The stress, the politics, all of it, but always been in a leadership development, kind of culture development type role. And eventually, after some not so great experiences and plenty of years thinking I can go out and do this on my own, I finally took the leap recently. So now I am on my own. I actually also work, even though I have my own LLC, working with a consulting company and already have a couple big contracts with them. So I'm excited about that. Was able to jump right into that. But still, it's leadership development, it's talent development, coaching, might be just workshops to help people figure out, how to build trust, how to be more resilient, how to deal with stressful situations, how to do a lot of the things that I dealt with for 20 years in corporate, and just be the best leader that they can be. So that's me. How can I get help? I don't even know. I was thinking about it. I was like, what do I want to ask for help on? I think that the biggest challenge I'm facing right now is that we have some target clients, right? We've got this ICP, and the company I'm working with is like, oh, you have great business development energy. We want to see you start to use some of that within LinkedIn and your network. But everyone I look at that's part of those target companies, and even like we've talked about this, like the lower layers of those companies and all those contacts, they're not on LinkedIn. They're like really hard to find and really hard to connect with. So that's always been my struggle, is like, how do I actually get in the door, right? Without having to do cold calls and stuff that I'm not.
Things that are required to get in the door. Got it.
Yeah. So this is part of the problem. I'm really good at connecting with people, but I hate the salesy, icky feeling of a lot of that. And maybe I just have to get over the fact that that's part of it. Or
I just
maybe
wish
it's
people quit
not a
telling people, you got a great personality, you should be in sales.
Mm.
Like that, I don't even understand how that correlates into a sales skill.
Yeah.
Right? People think that if you're extroverted, that you automatically should be a salesperson. And it's so far off the mark. I mean, does it likely give you some advantages? Sure. But some of the best salespeople I know in the world are introverts.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always wild to me.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I think so. I come into a lot of these companies with with credibility because I've been there, right? Like I've experienced this. I know I've done it at those companies. I can help your company do it going forward. So that's there. And then I have these, and I feel like I have a lot of ways to connect with them, like personally connect with them. I act as if I'm very real, very authentic, very human. And that's how I connect. But it's like that next step that says, okay, are we going to do business together or not? You know? And that's the part where I just kind of sit back and wait. And that's not the answer to actually landing deals.
So another thing that's always funny to me is if you think about everything that you've ever purchased in your life, like for yourself, what things have you purchased?
I mean, cars, furniture, a house, like all the big things, right? Yeah, but
Yep.
yeah.
You know, and here's why that's funny to me is you've only ever experienced transactional sales. You buy a car one time, you don't need to go back for a while. You buy a house one time, you need to go back for a while. You buy furniture one time, you don't need to go back for a while. You actually haven't likely experienced true professional business to business style selling. So what you've experienced is what most people think that goes through their head when they got to sell. Well, I got to be like that person. At the furniture store, you know, at the dealership. That's what likely goes through a lot of people's heads. That is so far from sales, like not even close to what real, true sales is.
Truth. Totally the truth. Totally the truth. Yeah. That's why sales gets such a bad rap, because when you say sales, everybody pictures the guy at the used car store.
Right.
And that is not sales.
Not even close.
Those are the salespeople that I had to sell to for a really long time, and they don't get it the same way. So we all live in LinkedIn, and so that's how we feel like everything needs to look. And if they're not there, we can't find them. But if you just think about the outside networking as LinkedIn kind of as well, but use your other resources. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram, see what you can find out about them through the other social media outlets. Google them. Maybe they have a fucking YouTube channel, Nadine. You never know. Yeah. And so if you Google the people that you're looking for, even if you're using low level, so do you know what the term multi-threading means?
Probably not well enough. I mean, I've heard it, but
it essentially is, it's an enterprise sales term that just means to use people throughout the organization to get to the person that you need to, and to get the message to the person you need to. And doing that using LinkedIn, and I know you said even the lower levels you can't find, but just Google them and find out as much as you can about them. And you will feel more comfortable making a cold call, because it won't feel as cold because you've gotten to know them a little bit through their other medias. And then you'll feel more comfortable calling and saying, hey, my name's Nadine. I'm in leadership development, and I've done some research on your company. Find something that you found out about them, like I love this program that you did,
Saw you won this award, saw you attended this gala.
And just be real. It's like the people that cold call and say, this is just another sales call, hope you're ready. Don't do that shit. That's so silly.
I know, and I wouldn't. Yeah,
I know. It's like, just be yourself. Just talk to the person the exact same way you would want to be talked to if somebody was calling to sell you leadership and development. And
Yeah.
so just knowing a little bit of something through Google, even if it's not LinkedIn, is going to teach you something about them and make you feel more comfortable going into that conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Even just like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, those other platforms, I haven't even tried.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not necessarily about connecting with them on those platforms, but about learning about them on those platforms, just to get some knowledge so that you have that comfort level talking to them. Not necessarily, I mean, it's not to say, like, I wouldn't necessarily go connecting with people you don't know on Facebook. Just
right. No, that's
like learn about
kind of creepy too. Yeah.
So when you were the global head of culture at Kyndryl,
yeah.
put yourself in that role. How would somebody have sold to you in that position?
So that's actually part of my cringe, is that I remember getting those emails daily, if not multiple
Cool.
times.
Did you ever buy anything in that role?
Yes, but from someone I met in person at a conference. I experienced.
I'm sorry. Say that again for me. I didn't hear that the first time.
Right. I know. I thought about this, and this is exactly why I was like, so do I go spend a couple grand and go to these conferences? Probably that's what I'm going to have to do, because the one guy that well, there's two people that I bought from, right? One was an executive coach, and it wasn't from like the Better Ups of the world, because Better Up was just in my inbox all the time. It was another kind of random person that had their own company that I trusted and believed in and knew through someone else. And then the other was through a conference.
You don't have to go to the conference.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I was just going to say.
What? Well, wait, what are you saying?
Conference. Just be in the city.
Yeah, be in the city.
Be
So
around the
use Ashley tactics of before the conference happens, connect with the people that are going to the conference. Once they start announcing, hey, I'm going to the conference, go post on their LinkedIn, send them a DM and say, hey, I'm in this city too. Do you want to meet up for a coffee? And usually sometimes that can get you into the after dinners, and that's where the real conversations happen.
Yeah.
Totally.
Good. Okay.
Nadine, we used to, back in the day when there were only a handful of sales reps and we didn't want to spend the money on NADA tickets, we would just go to Vegas and be there and just hang out around the convention and find our
Shut up, Peyton.
And we would just invite them to meals and like say, hey, meet us up at our hotel for lunch or whatever. Just like Jess said, we would get the list of people who would be there. We would know who would be there and get contacts with people and not even go into the convention.
Yeah. Keith, my brother, he sold $175 million 1 year in pharmaceutical supplies, all through conventions, but never stepped foot on the convention floor. He would literally find all the people that were going and host private events in his hotel room, and wine and dine. And the other sales reps used to get pissed at him because they'd have to spend hours on the floor, and he was out selling them all. He's like, why would I go stand on the floor when I can bring them all to me?
Yeah.
Great point.
So what we're saying is go lobby crash.
Yeah.
Right? Just hang out in the lobby with a coffee and oh my God.
Seriously, like if you're around a large convention, if you're in any coffee shop anywhere near the convention center, you're sitting next to 15 people that are going to the convention.
And Nadine, I used to look at our conference center here in Fort Worth, Texas, when I sold commercial printing, and I'd see what conferences were coming through. I got really good friends with all the dock workers. I'd bring them beer, I'd bring them lunch, I'd bring them everything. And because we became such friends, any event I wanted to, they would just let me through the back curtain. And I'd go out on the floor, then I could go to all the workshops and everything. If somebody would ask
this
me,
is a Donnie tactic, Nadine. I'm not quite sure.
But it works.
Buy people beer. I can do that.
They would be like, where's your badge? I'm like, oh, I left it back at the hotel and I don't want to walk all the way back. I'm like, fine, here, have a temporary. But yeah, you can get in so many, and also you can oftentimes see what companies are sponsoring these events.
Yeah.
Right. And then that becomes a list. Now, what you figure out is the same process is, okay, they're sponsoring it. Who are they sending, for the booth? Right. And you can call up the company and say, hey, I see you guys are going to XYZ summit. Can I, be directed to whoever's handling that event, that booth for you? I have a few questions. And you can be a real question is, hey, we're contemplating setting up at this event. Maybe we get a booth or maybe we're an attendee. Can you tell me why you guys decided that this was the event you were going to?
Yeah.
right? Just as an icebreaker question to get in, but it's got to be real. That one you can't lie to them, right?
No, of course.
But
Yeah.
if it's legit, they'll take up the phone. They'll take some time, and then what happens inevitably in that conversation is they go, "Oh, well, what do you do?"
Yeah, try right. They're just that. Yeah, that's natural to just ask that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, also don't get super. I am telling you this because it's something I'm working on. I got so focused on the big stuff, NADA, the national convention, that I didn't realize how many regional conventions happen that are smaller, more intimate, more of a chance for conversation, more of a chance to meet people. Now, it might not be the big dogs always necessarily, but it gives you an easier opportunity to meet people.
Okay.
Like, I'm thinking of like
Well played, Baden.
an easy one is a bar. What did he say? I missed it.
It's scrolling across the bottom right now. The Badass Business Summit.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, it's truly stuff like that. I'm in my mind for some reason, the bar association, like the lawyers bar association is coming to mind. Like they have the Indianapolis Bar Association, they have the Indiana Bar Association, they have the Midwest Bar Association meetings. You know what I mean? Like you can go wherever you want with those meetings.
Yeah.
Like this week, I'm speaking at a seminar for business brokers who broker dental practices. Like,
yeah, there's an association for everything.
Sure.
Yeah. And so just finding stuff like that, finding listings for stuff like that you can, get to know people in.
Okay.
Nadine, where do you live? I forget. Go ahead, Bernie.
I was going to ask, have you looked into like SHRM or ATD conferences, right? Because they are always looking for speakers, and obviously HR oftentimes is the way in for people related stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So both of those conferences I remember going to for years. And they personally, they left like not a great taste in my mouth because they were always so salesy. But now being on the opposite side, maybe I'm like, that's the right place to be. Because it's like you have these couple different, you have a couple different breakout sessions. A lot of them were still sales focused. Like here's the product and here's why it's good.
Right. But you're not there. You're not there for those. You're there to talk to the other attendees now, because those are the buyers, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned it earlier as well, and I'll double down on this. Like it's all relationship. Donnie's talked about the transactional sales process earlier that we're all exposed to, especially in learning and development, because I play in the same space. It's very relationship based. I mean, it takes 6, 12, 18 months sometimes to get an L&D project off the ground. It's a long sales cycle, and you've got to cultivate those relationships. So to everybody's point, I would try to get to as many of these, summits and such as you can and rub elbows.
Yep.
And then I would also take it a step further is how do you get on those stages? How do you get in front of those people? Not just elbow to elbow. How do you become the authority in the room and get on those stages?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, ATD and SHRM, they're always looking for speakers for their local events. Always.
So switching gears, I have always wanted to speak, right? But I feel like every time I find an opportunity, I don't know. It seems like it's really, really hard to get on the stages. It is
really hard to get on the stages.
Yeah.
But
so,
there is an easy way to make it happen.
What?
If you go in cold to get on stages, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But there's somebody who's responsible for that stage. If you network to get on stages, it's a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. They just got to know you and what you're going to talk about and be able to trust what you're going to say when you get on stage.
Yep.
Well, Nadine, you have, so that business development personality that they talk about, you would be excellent at making friends with the event coordinators, with the event planners, with, the people who are actually, like putting the event together.
Yeah.
Those would be easy people for you to connect with. I feel like those would be people right up your alley. So connecting with, some of the behind the scenes people that are doing some coordinating is probably a good way to go. Also, you and I have already talked about Disrupt HR, right?
Yes. And actually they just reached out to me, so I might be able to do something with them.
Yeah, do that. I mean,
right away.
Those are good. And that is, in Indianapolis, at least the Disrupt HR in Indy, it's easily a room of 250 HR professionals that you get to be in front of for 5 full minutes for free.
Yep.
And they are engaged and they love, I mean, the people that I know that go in indie, they go every single time just because it's fun and it's cool to hear people's ideas and hear people talk. And most of the time people are funny about it and do great speeches. So I would totally try to find some Disrupt HRs to be part of. And I don't know if I already connected you to my guy, Patrick, in Chicago, but he runs the Chicago Disrupt HR, and I would be happy to connect you with him if I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And maybe he'll even come to the live.
Oh, yes. This is correct.
I could get him to personally come and meet me live.
That's true. This is a good point. I will try to put that together. That means I'm going to come to Chicago too, though.
Yay!
Nadine, what do you geek
come
out?
to New York, though, with the goats. I mean, if I had a
May 19th, we're in New York. So.
I know.
Oh.
With the goats? The goats are coming?
What's the baby goat's name with the dress?
We haven't named that one because we're deciding if we're going to keep them yet or not.
Oh, okay.
So we don't name them unless we're going to keep them. So
I'll put my kids on it for you.
the last goat we almost kept name was Goat because we didn't want to fully name it, but it was a bottle baby, and it's hard when we got 3 bottle babies right now. So it's really hard when you got bottle babies to find them a home. But people need their first goat. That's who we typically sell to, is people who are first time homesteaders.
That's so cute.
But Nadine, what do you geek out on outside of business? Like, what's fun?
I mean, the ages of my kids probably make it kid related, right? So my daughter swims, which I used to swim, so I love that. I dive into. Oh God, that was a really bad pun.
It was perfect.
That was terrible.
Wow!
I said it, and I'm like, oh, that's cringy. Oh God. No, I literally love that. And then my son is in his junior year in high school, and he plays lacrosse, and so we do that. Like I get in the announcer booth, and I do all the things like volunteering with them. I do like CrossFit and working out myself. Oh my God, this weekend I have to do some crazy run that's from Asheville to Greenville, 72 miles. There's 6 of us, and each person takes a leg of the race. And then the rest of us are like driving in a minivan. So we got to do it.
Is it a Ranger? Is that what a Ranger relay?
It's very similar. It's like basically that, but they call it Ville to Ville because it's Asheville to Greenville.
Got it.
But yeah, there's 6 of us that each have to do a leg of the race, and we go from Asheville to Greenville. And I don't know why I signed up for that.
That's a big fat no.
So I do
right?
that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no.
So that's kind of what I geek out on.
My point of bringing those up is I guarantee there's a swimming association, there's a CrossFit association, there's there all of those events as well.
Yeah.
Right. So now you can go look for events and things that are bringing them all together. And just like you doing a crazy whatever Ville to Ville, there's other people that are in higher roles. So one thing I always like to ask people, do all the people you do this crazy CrossFit shit with, do you know what they do for a living?
Actually, yes. So actually, I'm going to start going back to my gym because there are
for networking opportunities.
Yes,
exactly. Like I work out in my garage by myself because I'm just like, I'll turn on the music really loud and I'll do it myself. Now I need to actually go back to the gym because you're right.
And same thing at the swim meets. What do those parents do? Same thing at the freaking.
Right.
It's the one networking, and everybody forgets that they're hanging out with these people every damn week, like
all the time.
2 seconds, ask what the hell they do for a living.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Because sales, truthfully, at the end of the day, it's nothing more than like high school and being able to have that first conversation. Once people know you and know what you do, it's a hell of a lot easier to lean in to have real conversations. And the more people who know you, the more opportunities you get. And just forget all the greaseball shit you've seen, heard, read, and just realize that it's a conversation with an outcome.
Yeah.
And also, you said that you get stuck in like the friend zone, basically, right? Yeah. Just use your language and be yourself with that friend zone and just ask if you need to. So the way I would do something like that is, hey, I know we've had some conversations about what I do. And I know that I would be a good fit for your company. I don't want to put you on your heels or anything, but do we have something to talk about business-wise? I mean, it's just that simple as just putting it out there and just being kind about doing it instead of being gross and salesy about it. And it does feel weird. I know it feels weird every time, but if you're being completely genuine and saying no is a completely okay answer for me, you can say no and we can move on and we can still be friends. And that's great.
Right.
And you can even put one more move up front where you say, I'm actually a little nervous asking this.
Yeah. Like I even,
right? Right. Because it's real.
Yeah.
Right. And if somebody sat across from you and said, I'm really nervous asking you this, you're more likely going to lean in and want to help them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's a vulnerable moment.
Yep. And tell them the real story, Nadine. Be like, maybe you don't know my backstory, but I was in corporate for years and I got the icks from where I was and I wanted to change the way things were in the land that I was in. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. And I just want to make sure that I'm not missing an opportunity for you and for me.
Yeah.
And no is 100% okay. Like,
that's fine. But I want
but you tell them that, them that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
they know it's okay to say no.
No may be no right now. And then at least they know, like they're aware of me, what I do, how I'm willing to help. And that no could turn into a yes a year from now when they change jobs and the opportunity presents itself. So
if you really want to figure out how to sell this, then you need to have 100 asks for people to buy from you. And in going through 100 asks, you're going to figure out how to have these conversations.
Ooh, I haven't done that. Nadine, let's accountability each other on this.
Okay.
So Nadine, go ahead.
What? Good, Jess, good.
You finish. Well, I was moving on to a different topic.
So because what happens is everything is learned through repetition. But when it comes to sales, people only get a few at bats because they're not forcing themselves to get into situations where they have to ask. So the race to 100 is what I used to call it back in the day, forces you to get into 100 asks. And in doing that, you're going to land clients. You're also going to fuck up the process, which is awesome, right? Because the more you fumble and fall down, the quicker you can pick yourself up. But you learn to have that legit conversation.
Yeah. And you get better and better and perfect your ask along the way. Because
and you're also going to start learning when they say this, oh, I know where this is going. Or when they do this, I know where this is going. And it's not about being manipulative. It's about helping them make the right damn decision.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Serena's in on the 100 asks.
Is she?
Yeah, okay. She's just posted a comment.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay. Yes.
Well, the other thing too, Nadine, is I think that some people convolute sales. We as salespeople, as sales coaches, have the propensity. Oh, Jess, you were going to go somewhere else.
No, go.
To complicate the sales process, even though it's very simple. Like when I say there's a sales process, it seems like there's this big giant process. It's really not. People just want you to be out there with it and be like, just get it out there. Don't beat around the bush. Just talk about what you're going to talk about and be genuine about it and move along. Go ahead, Jess.
Okay. So back at the beginning, you were talking about how you're contracting with this business and they want you to go into business development, right?
Yes.
So why are we putting this energy into their business when we could be putting the energy into ourselves? If we're going to do this 100 ask accountability thing, why aren't we doing it for ourselves? And I don't know what the relationship is between you and that business, but it's just food for thought.
Yeah, it's a great point and I think that's another piece of my challenge, right? And so part 2, hot seat part 2 is one of the contracts they have me on is McDonald's, like big company, right? That's the kind of contract, massive contracts that I can get and work on through that company. They have the means to land big companies. Myself personally, I don't have that yet. It's right. Yeah, it's a keyword, but I don't have that yet. I can't design and deliver a year-long program for thousands of managers.
Liar.
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, but it's like it'd be extremely intensive for just one person to do all of that, right? Like we're talking, it's extremely
so how many people do you want to work with at a time?
So right now I have the one big client that I just mentioned, and I have 3 that are just me personally, smaller, like they're kind of like one-off gigs, but they're smaller opportunities
Where
that
would you rather be playing, with those smaller opportunities or McDonald's?
I kind of like the balance. Is that crazy? Is that a bad
No,
answer?
that's
No, that's
fine.
not crazy. That's not crazy.
I
Don't let
kind of
Johnny
like
tell
the
you it's crazy.
balance. Like I like having them because that's it's long term. It's sustainable. I
So,
know that something's
Serena
coming
brought
right
up a
there.
great point. Let's say you're doing it on your own and you land a company that needs 1,000 people trained
Right.
in leadership. Pretty sure you could pick up the phone, Zoom, and go, "Hey, Serena, I need help. Hey, Ashley, I need some help. Hey, so and so, I need
Good
help."
point.
And now you're coordinating all these people to come in and help you train.
You're right. You're right. 1,000%. I could.
Yeah.
You're right.
And on that note, Nadine, we should probably have a VC because this is the same place I play.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because like they have those people to design and then deliver, facilitate. They have like 20 different
And the
coaches
only reason you don't is you haven't had a need to actually create that stuff.
at that volume, at that level, right?
Right.
Just
Right.
done smaller things that are come in once a quarter and do a team workshop for a day. That's the kind of stuff I'm doing on my own, which I still love though, because a lot of it's really local, smaller companies that I'm able to help. And I kind of love that.
But a lot of that is just taking that what you do in a smaller scale and repurposing it at a larger scale. So
Yeah.
essentially you have it kind of, you just need to scale it up bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then to Serena's point, like team up with others to make it happen.
And oftentimes what happens to people is they see, okay, this company's got me in McDonald's and training. This is amazing. And they think it's an extremely daunting task to just get that conversation, get that deal. It's really not, right? It's just a couple more conversations and likely these smaller deals, couple more people involved, right? And
Yeah.
that's part of the 100 ask is how do I get myself into a position where I could make an ask of a company that large?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did they land McDonald's?
McDonald's. Exactly. The fact that you've worked with McDonald's. Oh my God.
I got you.
The arches.
I got you.
Ashley, more yoga. All right.
You're done. We're done.
That gives you clout, I mean, that gives you clout. It gives you expert persona. It gives you that to use in your own personal business. I would challenge you to make a list, just write down all of the things that you think you need to provide the opportunity to McDonald's that you are providing through the consulting firm. If you were to do it on your own, write down all the things that you think you would need. Just make that list, write that down. Like I would need a person to coordinate this. I would need a person to coordinate this. I would need a person to coordinate this. Make that list because you know every single one of those people.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's not even that I'm doing most of it. Like I'm going to go in and do a lot of the facilitation with me and one other person. Yeah.
Right. So, and I'm not even talking about the facilitation part. I think you're talking about on the back, like,
well, there's that too. Absolutely.
And the creation and all of that. And I think that if I have learned anything through the last year and a half on LinkedIn, it's that you absolutely know people who can do this for you and who can help you get there. Yeah. And it's just a matter of doing it and like pulling it all together. Yeah. So making the list is the first place. That's where you got to start. It's like you don't overwhelm yourself with it, but it at least gives you a visual of what you need to do to put it together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 1,000%. Yeah, you're right.
So,
and if you want to put, sorry, Donnie.
You're good. Go.
If you want to put it into motion, get into that conversation first. And then that forces you to put that list together because you're like, oh shit, I have this opportunity and I need to deliver on it.
Yeah.
Nadine, I am the queen of close it, then create it. It is it is just what I do because I'm going to go ahead and you want me to do that? Cool. I can do that. No problem.
I can do that. I know that's what I've got to do the rest of the day today for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes. So Nadine, a real question you need to ask yourself though, is how big of a company do you actually want? Do you want for yourself, right? Yeah. Do you want lifestyle business where it's just you working with a handful of clients every year, or do you want staff, employees, the grind and all that comes with that? I think the more people clarify the actual size business, like you want you and maybe a couple of VAs, maybe working with a couple of other consultants, or do you want to recreate this other company you're working for?
I don't want to recreate. No, I don't think that's my goal. My goal
So
is,
then is McDonald's the answer?
great point. I don't know. But what I was going to say is I don't want to recreate, but I do love the idea of this fractional, like I'm going to call it that fractional team up theme. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so if I need a VA and I need someone to help me with like the junk, like accounting and all that. So I get some sort of finance person to help me with that. And then I get one or two other people that help me with facilitation and one or two other people that help me with design, but it's all like a fractional model, but we kind of work. I don't know. I have to, it's a great question. I have to think about it. Yeah.
So
I would also look in, I'd also take account into how quickly do you want to scale?
Yeah, not
In
yet.
this world, we're like scale. But for me, when I was a mom, I was like, no, I am happy right here. I want my business right here so I can go be mom. And then once my kids got in school, I was like, okay, let's go bigger.
Exactly. And like, I'm at a point where I still want to do the mom things. Like I mentioned, like I want to be in all the sports and doing all the volunteering, but when both kids go to college, shit, ramp that up. I'm ready. I'm good.
I love it.
So yeah.
no, it's always telling when you know where you want to end up,
Yeah.
because it's easier to build to that. Right. What most people end up doing is recreating the corporate life they left because they hadn't thought about where they're trying to get their business to.
Yeah.
So only thing they know is that corporate life. So in their head, they're almost unconsciously fighting themselves because they're like, man, I don't know if I really want employees. I don't know if I want, all these management meetings and all this stuff. But in the same token, they're thinking, my God, I got to get companies this large, this big. So I'm going to need all these people. And so they're battling themselves because they haven't determined this is what the kind of business I actually want.
Yeah.
And that's me. I just came out of, a role leading people for years, and I'm tired of that drama. I'm tired. I don't want to lead people. Like that's why. And I think you're right. Like I still have that in the back of my mind from the corporate world that I'm like, that's not what I want.
Let yourself sink out of that. It's taken me a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing in a teeny tiny box for a real long time, and it's taken me a long time to figure out what that looks like outside of that. And that's okay. I've just continued to take the things that come my way and do the things that give me joy in the meantime, and, figure that stuff out on the back end. I do think that an exercise that helps me too is just to think about, and I'm talking about just the scale thing and like how much you want to scale when you have kids, all that kind of thing is like, and it goes to dollars, but sometimes it has to go to dollars to make the math work.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I want to make in a month? And then how do I make that? Right. So, and then just break it down and figure out how to make that work, because I really am a big proponent of writing things down, obviously, to see them and to make them come to reality, because you end up seeing so much more of the picture once you start writing it down, and it becomes a lot more digestible. It's like little tiny chunks instead of this big dream, this big vision, this big thing. You can start taking those little tiny chunks out of it and doing it that way.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's hard to pull yourself out of where you've been. Like when I was on the hot seat, everybody was like, well, what can you do in the automotive? I don't want to talk to car dealers anymore. I'm done with that.
Nobody does. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And but you can still think about some of those things and how they relate. The reason I was good with car dealers is because I was good with like gruff old men. Well, I can find that pretty much anywhere. So
you're right.
I mean, it's like
Bernie's sitting right here.
Right here. Why you gotta talk?
And you've sat in big rooms, Nadine. You have sat in big rooms with big shit people. So you have all the clout you need, and you are meant to be right where you're meant to be in any of those rooms you're in. And some other great places to go look, because I feel like you have this Kyndryl thing with the consulting or the McDonald's thing with the consulting, and you like doing that. And that's kind of like almost set it and forget it. Like, you know what you're doing with that, whatever. But your own stuff over here, you can start to figure out what size is best for you, and just make friends with people, and like not be in the friend zone, but learn more about people. Another cool place to find people, I feel like, is co-working spaces. Do you guys have good co-working spaces in Greenville?
Actually, yeah, I could do something like that. Yeah,
just to meet people. Because so many people are remote, so many leaders are remote these days, and co-working spaces are great places that for leaders to go like be around other leaders and things
And
like
what's nice about that is you can rent by the hour, and so you can go try multiple ones out until you find one that you might have more people that you're looking for.
Right. Just go in, hang out, see if it's the right vibe, and then try another. Yeah.
And there's usually a coffee shop around town that is known as the networking spot. And you go there to network in the morning to see who you can meet.
Because we have a lot of it's almost daunting to think about which coffee shop it could be because we have so many that are like these cute little, not
pick one a week. Pick one a week and go sit for 2 hours.
So, all right, we got 4 minutes to wrap this one up on time. So, Nadine, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what are some of your highlights and takeaways from today?
Oh goodness. Okay, so oh my gosh. This really is hot seat. Okay.
It's okay. You're not gonna get like homework or anything necessarily.
Oh yeah, there's a test.
Yeah, we'll send you the test. Don't worry.
So one big aha was the conferences and how I can leverage those locations without having to necessarily pay the high prices of the conferences. Lots of thoughts there already in terms of how I can do that. Another is really figuring out what my business model is, how I want this business to grow. And even if it is like, I'm fine with this now. And then next year I want it to look like this. The following year I want, and the last is how do I maybe land a big client that's just for me and then team up with others to make it happen. What did I miss? I'm trying to think. Like there was a lot.
Well, you can go back and rewatch this too, and be able to pick up all the rest of the notes. So tell others they need to jump in the hot seat. So so this is awesome. Well, guys, let's kick it over to upcoming events. What do you have, Bertie? I think you got something coming up, don't you?
Yeah, we got Allison Simmons is doing her event tomorrow, which is how to turn your AI into a personal assistant. She had a great showing at the last one. I'm expecting this one to be even bigger and better. So really excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jess, you have anything coming up?
I'll have something early May, but nothing scheduled yet.
Ashley, you got anything coming up?
I am going to be in San Diego this week. So it's not a public event that people can come watch me speak at. But if there are people in San Diego who want to say hi and hang out, I will be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Nice. Nadine, you have anything events coming up?
I just have this like LinkedIn Live thing in Chicago that I'm doing. It's not totally it's like 2 weeks from now.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, we've got May 19th. The links aren't out for the live event in New York. Peyton's coming up to that with me. That one, if you want to come to that one, as soon as it hits, buy tickets because there's limited spots where that location is, so it's going to sell out stupid fast. We sold out last time and had to actually give money back for a couple of tickets that got sold because we were over capacity at this place. So it sells out really fast. So move quickly if those get posted. And then we've got the Badass Business Summit, September 17th through the 19th. The speaker lineup is looking absolutely amazing. The game plan, we're getting ready to start making some cool announcements and really start kicking up the marketing on that. So get ready for that. It's going to be an absolute fucking blast.
I need somebody to like email me a reminder every 15 minutes. I keep telling myself, don't forget to do this. And then I never get it done. I'm put on my calendar. That'll help.
Nice. Well, guys, we do this every Monday, 8 a.m. Central. Hang out with one of our champions and Success Champions Networking. Put them in the hot seat and help them with their business. Nadine, it was awesome hanging out with you. Thanks for jumping on with us. Guys, go have an amazing rest of your week, and we will see y'all next Monday. Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.
Bye.